Hello, everyone. My name is Emily. Welcome to English Club. I am so happy to be here with you today. I hope you are all doing wonderfully. Today, we are going to talk about something that many English learners dream about, a goal that seems difficult but is more achievable than you might think.
Hello, Emily. How are you today?
Hi, Paul. I am doing great. Thank you. How about you? I was thinking about our topic today and I realized something interesting. Many learners focus on speaking like a native, but they do not always understand what that really means.
That is a great observation, Emily. And that is exactly what we are discussing today. Can you speak English like a native? And more importantly, should that even be your goal? We are going to explore what it means to sound native, whether it is necessary, and if you do want to sound more native-like, what are the real, practical tips to get there?
Yes, and I want to be honest from the beginning. You do not need to sound like a native speaker to communicate effectively in English. Many successful English speakers have accents. Many global leaders, business professionals, and academics speak excellent English with their own accent. That is completely fine.
Absolutely. Having an accent does not mean your English is bad. An accent is simply a reflection of where you come from. It is part of your identity. Some people want to reduce their accent, and that is okay. Others embrace their accent, and that is equally okay. There is no right or wrong choice.
Exactly. But if you do want to sound more native-like, there are specific techniques and strategies that can help. And that is what we are going to share today. Real, practical tips based on how native speakers actually speak, not textbook English.
Right, because here is the truth. Native speakers don't speak like textbooks. They use contractions, they reduce sounds, they use idioms and slang, they speak quickly with natural rhythm. If you want to sound more native-like, you need to learn these natural speaking patterns.
Yes, and that is what makes the difference between sounding like a textbook and sounding natural. Today, we are going to break down these patterns and show you exactly how to incorporate them into your speaking.
That is right. Now, before we dive into all these techniques and tips, let me remind our viewers about something important.
Yes, please do.
Before we start today's topic, please like and subscribe to our channel for more English learning videos. Your support helps us create content that goes beyond basic grammar to help you sound natural and confident in English. We appreciate every single one of you.
Yes, please take a moment to like and subscribe. We are here to help you speak real English for real life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now, let us talk about speaking like a native. Emily, what is the first thing that makes someone sound more native-like?
The first thing is contractions. Native speakers use contractions constantly in spoken English. Instead of I am, we say I'm. Instead of do not, we say don't. Instead of I will, we say I'll. Contractions make your speech sound more natural and less formal.
Yes, this is huge. If you speak English without contractions, you sound very formal and stiff, like a robot. I am going to the store. I do not have time. That sounds unnatural. Compare it to, I'm going to the store. I don't have time. That sounds much more native.
Exactly. And it is not just simple contractions. Native speakers also use informal contractions that are not written in textbooks. Going to becomes gonna. Want to becomes wanna. Got to becomes gotta. These are very common in casual speech.
Right. I'm gonna go to the store sounds more natural than I am going to go to the store. Now, should you use these informal contractions in professional settings? Probably not. But in casual conversations with friends, they make you sound much more natural.
Good point. Context matters. In job interviews or business presentations, stick with standard contractions. In casual conversations, informal contractions are fine. Now, the second tip for sounding more native is connected speech. This means words flow together instead of being pronounced separately.
Yes, connected speech is essential. Native speakers do not pause between every word. Words run together. For example, did you eat yet sounds like did you eat yet. The words connect. I'm going to ask her sounds like I'm gonna ask her. The final consonant of one word connects to the first vowel of the next word.
This is called linking, and it is one of the main features of natural English pronunciation. If you pronounce every word separately and clearly, you sound very careful and unnatural. Native speakers link words together in a smooth flow.
Let me give more examples. Turn it off sounds like turn it off. Pick it up sounds like pick it up. What do you want sounds like what do you want. These are not incorrect pronunciations. This is how native speakers naturally speak.
Exactly. To develop connected speech, you need to listen to native speakers carefully and practice mimicking their pronunciation. Shadowing, which we discussed in a previous video, is excellent for developing connected speech.
Yes, shadowing helps you internalize these natural pronunciation patterns. Now, the third tip is reduction. Native speakers reduce certain words, especially function words like to, for, and, of, can, have. These words are not stressed and they are pronounced very quickly.
Right. I have to go becomes I have to go. The have to is reduced. Fish and chips becomes fish and chips. The and is reduced to just an N sound. Cup of coffee becomes cup of coffee. The of is reduced.
Native speakers reduce these function words because they are not the important content words. We emphasize the content words like nouns, verbs, and adjectives. Function words are spoken quickly and reduced. This creates the rhythm of natural English.
That brings us to our fourth tip, rhythm and stress. English is a stress-timed language. This means some syllables and words are stressed and others are not. This creates a rhythm like music. If you stress all words equally, you sound monotone and unnatural.
Right. In the sentence, I went to the store yesterday, which words are stressed? The content words, went, store, yesterday. The function words, I, to, the, are unstressed and quick. This creates a da-dum, da-da-da-dum rhythm.
Exactly. And this rhythm is one of the most distinctive features of English. Different languages have different rhythms. If you speak English with the rhythm of your native language, you will sound foreign even if your vocabulary and grammar are perfect.
So how do you develop English rhythm? Listen to native speakers and pay attention to which words they emphasize. Try to copy that pattern. Record yourself and compare it to native speakers. Notice where your rhythm differs.
Yes, developing rhythm takes time and practice, but it makes a huge difference in how native-like you sound. Now, our fifth tip is intonation. Intonation is the melody of speech, the way your voice rises and falls.
English intonation carries meaning. A rising intonation at the end of a sentence indicates a question. You're going? Sounds like a question because the voice rises. A falling intonation indicates a statement. You're going sounds like a statement because the voice falls.
Right, and intonation also conveys emotion and attitude. That's great. With rising, enthusiastic intonation, sounds genuinely excited. That's great. With flat intonation, sounds sarcastic or unenthusiastic. Same words, different meanings based on intonation.
Native speakers use a lot of variation in intonation. Their voices rise and fall constantly, creating an animated, engaging speaking style. If your intonation is flat, you sound bored or uninterested, even if you are not.
So practice varying your intonation. Do not speak in a monotone. Let your voice rise and fall naturally. Express emotions through your tone, not just your words.
Now, our sixth tip is vocabulary choices. Native speakers use certain words and phrases that are natural and current. If you use outdated or overly formal vocabulary, you sound like a textbook, not a native speaker.
For example, instead of I am very happy, a native speaker might say, I'm super excited, or I'm thrilled, or I'm stoked. Instead of that is excellent, they might say that's awesome, or that's great, or that's perfect.
Right, and native speakers use phrasal verbs constantly. Figure out instead of solve. Look into instead of investigate. Put off instead of postpone. Phrasal verbs sound more casual and native-like.
Yes, and native speakers use idioms. It's raining cats and dogs instead of it's raining heavily. Piece of cake instead of very easy. Hit the hay instead of go to sleep. You don't need to use idioms constantly, but knowing common ones helps you sound more natural.
Exactly. Now, our seventh tip is filler words. Native speakers use filler words when they are thinking or hesitating.
like, you know, I mean, well, so. These are very common in natural speech.
Now, should you use filler words all the time? No, using them excessively sounds unprofessional, but using them occasionally makes you sound more natural. Complete silence while you think sounds awkward. A natural or let me think sounds more human.
Right. Filler words are part of natural conversation. They give you time to think and they make your speech flow more naturally. Just don't overuse them. Now, our eighth tip is cultural references and expressions. Native speakers reference popular culture, current events, and common cultural knowledge.
For example, saying, "That's my Achilles heel" references Greek mythology. Saying, "That's not rocket science" is a common expression meaning something is not complicated. Saying, "That was a plot twist" references movies and TV shows.
These cultural references and expressions are part of how native speakers communicate. They add color and relatability to speech. You don't need to know every reference, but learning common ones helps you understand and participate in conversations more naturally.
Now, our ninth tip is speaking speed. Native speakers generally speak fairly quickly. If you speak very slowly and carefully, you sound like a learner. Now, I am not saying you should rush and sacrifice clarity, but gradually increasing your speaking speed makes you sound more confident and natural. Right, and speed comes from the other techniques we mentioned: contractions, connected speech, reduction. When you use these techniques, your speech naturally speeds up because you're not pronouncing every single sound clearly.
Exactly. Now, our 10th tip is confidence and attitude. This might be the most important tip of all. Native speakers speak with confidence. They do not apologize for their English or second-guess every word. They speak naturally and expect to be understood.
Yes, confidence affects how you sound. If you are hesitant and unsure, that comes through in your voice. If you are confident and natural, you sound much more native-like, even if you make some mistakes.
Right. And here is something important. Mistakes are okay. Native speakers make mistakes too. We say the wrong word sometimes, we mispronounce things sometimes, we use incorrect grammar sometimes. Perfection is not the goal. Natural communication is the goal.
That is such an important point. Many learners are so afraid of making mistakes that they speak very carefully and formally, but this actually makes them sound less native. Native speakers are casual, relaxed, and yes, imperfect.
Exactly. So speak with confidence. Do not apologize for your accent or your mistakes. Just communicate naturally. That attitude makes a huge difference. Now, let me give some practical exercises you can do to sound more native-like.
Yes, please. Share practical tips our listeners can implement immediately.
Exercise 1, shadowing. We have mentioned this before, but it is worth repeating. Listen to native speakers and repeat what they say, trying to match their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation exactly. This trains your mouth and ears to produce native-like sounds.
Exercise 2, record yourself. Record yourself speaking English, then listen back. Compare your recording to native speakers. Where do you sound different? What can you improve? This self-awareness is crucial for improvement.
Exercise 3, imitate specific people. Choose a native English speaker you admire, maybe an actor, a YouTuber, or a public figure. Study how they speak. Try to imitate their style. This gives you a specific model to follow rather than a vague idea of native speakers.
Exercise 4, practice natural conversations. Find a language partner, tutor, or conversation group. Practice speaking naturally, not formally. Use contractions, idioms, casual vocabulary. The more you practice natural speech, the more natural it becomes.
Exercise 5, consume native content daily. Watch movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, listen to podcasts. Expose yourself to natural English constantly. Your brain will naturally absorb patterns, vocabulary, and pronunciation from consistent exposure.
Exercise 6, focus on one aspect at a time. Do not try to improve everything simultaneously. Maybe spend 1 month focused on contractions. Next month, focus on intonation. Gradual, focused improvement is more effective than trying to change everything at once.
Those are excellent practical exercises. Now, let me address an important question. Should everyone try to sound like a native speaker?
That is a crucial question, and my answer is no. Not everyone needs to sound native. Your goal should be clear, effective communication. If you can communicate clearly and people understand you easily, that is success. Whether you have an accent or not is secondary. I agree completely. In fact, having an accent can be an asset. It shows you speak multiple languages, which is impressive. It connects you to your heritage. It is part of your identity. Do not feel you must erase your accent to be a successful English speaker.
Right. And the global reality is that most English is now spoken between non-native speakers. Indian English, Singapore English, Nigerian English, these are all legitimate varieties of English. There is not one correct way to speak English.
Exactly. So if your goal is simply clear communication, focus on being understood. If your goal is to sound more native-like for personal or professional reasons, use the tips we shared today. But do not let anyone make you feel your English is inadequate because you have an accent.
Well said. Now, I want to address something else. Some people believe they are too old to sound like a native speaker. They think you can only achieve native-like pronunciation if you learned English as a child. Is this true?
This is a common belief, and there is some truth to it. Children generally acquire native accents more easily than adults, but adults can absolutely improve their pronunciation significantly. You might not sound exactly like someone who grew up speaking English, but you can sound very natural and native-like with practice.
Yes, I know many adult learners who sound remarkably native-like. It requires dedication and practice, but it is possible. Age makes it harder, but not impossible. So do not use age as an excuse not to try.
Right. And remember, even if you do not sound 100% native, you can still sound natural, confident, and clear. That is what matters most.
Absolutely. Well, Emily, we have covered so much about speaking like a native today. We discussed what it means to sound native, whether it is necessary, and most importantly, we shared 10 real practical tips for sounding more native-like.
Yes, we talked about contractions, connected speech, reduction, rhythm, intonation, vocabulary, fillers, cultural references, speed, and confidence. These are the real techniques that make textbook English and natural English.
And we emphasized that having an accent is okay. Clear communication is the goal, not perfect native pronunciation. But if you do want to sound more native-like, these techniques will help you get there.
Exactly. And remember, this is a gradual process. You will not sound like a native speaker after watching one video or practicing for 1 week. This takes months and years of consistent exposure, practice, and refinement. Be patient with yourself.
Yes, celebrate progress, not perfection. Every improvement in your pronunciation, rhythm, or natural speech is progress worth celebrating.
Now, before we finish, let us ask our listeners a question.
Yes, we would love to hear from you.
Dear listeners, do you want to sound like a native speaker? Why or why not? And which tip from today's video do you think will be most helpful for you? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.
Yes, please share. We are curious about your goals and motivations. And your comments help us understand what content would be most valuable for future videos.
And while you are here, please like this video if you found these tips helpful. Your like tells us you appreciate practical pronunciation and speaking advice.
And please subscribe to English Club for more English learning videos. We create content to help you speak naturally, confidently, and effectively in English.
Please like and subscribe to English Club for more English learning videos. Thank you so much for listening today. Thank you for your commitment to improving your English speaking skills.
Thank you, everyone. Remember, whether you sound like a native or not, what matters is that you can express yourself clearly and connect with others. Your voice, your accent, your unique way of speaking English is valid and valuable.
Yes, do not compare yourself to native speakers constantly. Compare yourself to where you were last year. Celebrate your progress. Be proud of your multilingual abilities. You are doing something amazing by learning English.
Beautiful words. Well said, Emily. Take care, everyone. Keep practicing, keep improving, keep speaking.
Until next time, goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.